Welcome back. It's the Kovacs Report. The New York City Comic Con Next Level panel from DC has been had, and we've got a whole bunch of news which I've collected up for us to go through to find out what's coming in the foreseeable future from DC. Okay, now there are going to be spoilers, guys, before we get anywhere. We're going to look into the KO event. A lot of new books and creative teams have been announced. We're going to find out who's doing what. We're going to find out some of it and which new books to expect from DC and maybe something else along the way. Now, before that happens, don't forget, like the video if you can, hit subscribe. I really, really appreciate it. I'm trying to build the channel up and I need you guys to hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it if you did. So we are going to take a look at DC's KO in December. Now, if you're reading the book, you'll know what all this is about. But essentially, there is a huge boxing match going on to save the universe. Darkseid has returned, and these guys, the heroes and some villains, have to duke it out for the chance to have a fight at the title, at the champion. Now, these books were previously released with titles redacted, so we didn't know who's fighting in these first rounds as they go round by round to the final, but they have been released, and we can take a little look. So the first one is clearly Superman will be fighting Captain Atom, and that book will be written by Joshua Williamson with art by Sean Izacki, and that cover is by Jorge Corona, who I'm really enjoying his art. I love his art over on Transformers 2. Of course, there'll be variant covers for all of these books, as there usually is. Let's see what's next on the agenda. Well, we have Aquaman and Hawkman here. That's by Jeremy Adams with art and cover by John Timms. So that's pretty interesting. That's an interesting matchup. You know, land and sea fighting. I don't know. I know who I want to win. It's got to be Hawkman, right? Let me know who. Oh, actually, this is an interesting guy. Let me know in the comments who you want to win each of these rounds. That would be kind of fun to compare. See if we're all on the same boat. So this one is obviously Wonder Woman versus Lobo by Joel Jones and Jason Howard, another Jorge Corona cover. This is fun. I do like the idea of these two fighting. They're so opposite. It kind of makes sense for one of these balmy crossovers, and this crossover is getting even crazier. If you watch my other video about who Superman is going to be fighting, then you're going to be like, what happened? Did I really see and hear what this man just said? Yeah, well, it is coming. Check it all out. There's another video. So next on the line, the next bout is Cyborg versus Swamp Thing. That's by John Layman, art and cover by Pete Woods. Very interesting. They're not two of my favorite characters, so I don't really mind who wins. I'd like to see old Swamp Thing come out of that one. Okay, and we got Harley Quinn versus Zatanna. Now, this one for me is a bit of a toughie because I love both of these characters, and I kind of thought both of them would get through, but obviously not. Obviously not. I can't choose. Whoever wins, wins. But I'm excited about that. It's by Leah Williams, with art by Mercer and Dolfo. And of course, this is another Jorge Corona cover. I keep pronouncing the man's name wrong. I'm so sorry. So next is the Flash versus the Green Lantern. So this is Jay Garrick, Guy Gardner, of course. And this one is written by Mark Waid and Christopher Cantwell with art by Vasco Georgiev. Another cover by Dan Mora. Okay, so some of these covers are obviously been photographed off the big screen. That's why they're not super high quality. And we have this little wild card thing that happened. Yes, we do. We have Red Hood versus Joker, because if you're following the first issue, the bad guys, much against what all the heroes have been trying to prevent, have gate crashed a party, and they will be fighting too. So that's going to be an interesting one. Red Hood versus the Joker. Now that's a grudge match, and that's of course going to be written by Scott Snyder and Joshua Williamson with art by Dustin Nguyen, covered by Jorge Corona. And what else? I'm sure there's another one. Yeah, there we go. So we've got Lex Luthor versus the Demon, Joshua Williamson, art and cover by Hayden Sherman, who's doing amazing work over on Wonder Woman. I really, really like it. And I think that's the first round. Those are the first rounds, yes. So it is definitely Fight Night is coming to DC. Some great covers, some interesting matchups. I'm all for it. I'll be covering as much of it as I physically can. And here we have the solicits, all the information over on Bleeding Cool. Okay, what's next from DC? Well, we have some very, very big news. DC's next sort of endeavor is called Next Level. And there is a whole bunch of new books coming and a big list of names. And some of those names have been attached to some of these books. So it is as yet unknown who's doing what's in most of this. So let's read what it says. DC Next Level at New York City Comic Con launch new number ones in 2026. So all these books coming next year. DC Comics has been cancelling a fair number of titles lately, some due to poor sales and others due to social media posts. Yes, we all know about that. Announced at New York Comic Con during the DC Comics panel today, led by Scott Snyder, is DC Next Level, the name of DC Comics' new publishing program featuring numerous new titles, including new number one issues from familiar creators who I'm sure will be in their best behavior, and starting off in March. Okay, so this is March. I guess this will probably indicate when the DC KO event is fizzling out and finishing. So Scott Snyder says that they are thrilled and took the novel approach of going to big name comic book creators and asking them what they would like to do. Okay, that's interesting. I think that will probably prove better. How novel. Paul Kaminsky says that that these are all DCU titles, but have taken some inspiration from the Absolute Universe approach. Okay, Scott Snyder also mentioned the Energon and Ultimate Universe as inspiration when approaching these books, creators named R. So let's just take a look at the names of the books first. We've got Batwoman, which sounds very, very cool. Zatanna, so that's 2 out of 2 for me. Deathstroke, the Terminator, not too fast. Lobo's returning. We've got Firestorm. Shadow of the Bat's returning. Now that was a really, really good Bat book. A little bit darker than usual, and I loved it. So I'm very interested what's going with that. We've got the Demon, and this one is very interesting. Barbara Gordon Breakout. Now, if I've missed something in a previous run of DC where the word breakout or the name breakout is relevant, then I apologize. But this got me intrigued. It has definitely got me intrigued. And let's look at the people attached. There's some of the usual suspects, and of course, some of the people that are bound to be named here because they're hot shit at the moment. But let's take a look. We've got Greg Rucka and Dani. Now, that's a big one, coming back to Batwoman. We're going to go into Batwoman a little bit deeper, actually, because there's another article to get through in this video. Stick with me. Deniz Camp, Mariko Tamaki, which is exciting for me because I do like some of Mariko Tamaki stuff. James Harren, Skottie Young, and Jorge Corona are on Lobo. Jeff Lemire, Tony Fleecs, great writer, Jamal Campbell. Joshua Williamson is doing Legion of Superheroes, which isn't kind of mentioned here, but I don't know why that's there. So, and the other books are... So this is additional books. Okay, so Legion of Superheroes, I guess, is another one that's been added to that list. So there we have it. Some big names. Interesting book choices. I'm all for it. I like the fact that I've mentioned in another video that DC seems to be taking risks. And you know what? They are paying off. The Absolute Universe. Who would think you could take the sort of legacy, mainline DC characters and basically say, hey, there's no rules. Do whatever you want and it be as good as it has been for the most part. So they are really, really, I think they're pushing more boundaries right now than Marvel, which aren't pushing anything. They're just pushing the same old stuff with the same old writers, with the same old checkboxes and same old bloody messaging. It's sad at DC, they're really pushing the boat out. Like I say, they're going crazy with who Superman's going to be fighting. Now, I really don't want to spoil it in this video because I've made another video about who's Superman fighting. Go track it down. It'll blow your mind. It certainly blew mine. So yes, I'm all for it. DC sound like they are, trying to just do something a little bit different. And I love it. So Batwoman, I'm very interested by this. Greg Rucka did an absolute seminal run of Batwoman and he never got to really finish it. I think there was something going on at DC which prevented him from doing certain things. I think it was something to do with marrying off the main character to her girlfriend. I think DC had a bit of pushback about that. And I think this is maybe going to be one of the stories which they include in this new run. But at least I hope it is, because, he put so many years of love into Batwoman. He should get the ending that he always wanted to write. So Greg Rucka returns to Batwoman after 17 years for DC's Next Level, and he says it's an exorcism. I like that. DC Comics made waves today at the DCKO panel at NYCC, which included news of their next initiative, DC Next Level. Along with that news was multiple titles and creators attached to this Next Level line, which we saw earlier. A series of creators was announced. We've done all this, so this is what you already know. Yep, looks very, very tasty. Coming in March and beyond. So Greg Rucka is returning to Batwoman for the first time in nearly 2 decades, joined by rising star artist Dani and colorist Matt Hollingsworth. The new series, launching in March 2026, marks Rucka's first time writing Kate Kane since leaving the character in 2009, and he didn't mince words about how personal the return is. Okay, when it's personal, you kind of know you're going to get a good story, right? So here's what he says: is there are a handful of characters that, if I'm offered, I'd sit up and beg like a puppy. And Kate is one of them. When I left in 2009, it went unresolved. When you have the story and it's in your head and you have to walk away for some reason, the story doesn't go away. He laughed before calling the project an exorcism. It's about me. It's not about entertaining you. I con DC into solving my issues. That sounds hilarious. But look at this art. I don't know if I can make it big enough to, I think it breaks out. Yeah. But I'm telling you now, there we go. That's a bit bigger. It looks pretty cool. She looks pretty streamlined there. I like it. So back to Batwoman, darker than ever. Rucka revealed that Batwoman will be sent to set in Greece, a nod to artist Dani's roots. It's shaking things up, and it's starting in a very dark place, and it'll only go down from there, he teased. Dani's preview art shown during the panel drew audible gasps from the audience, moody, painterly, and brutal in tone. The story pits Kate Kane against her sister, a conflict Rucka says he's wanted to explore since his original run. Yes, very interesting. It's a story I wanted to tell back in the day, but the world moves on, and so does this story. The creative team, which Rucka called a murderer's row, includes Hollingsworth on colours over Dani's haunting line work. It's weird because I don't want to give anything away. Rucka teased before adding, one of them dies in the first issue, so that's spoiler. Whether he meant Kate herself is anyone's guess, but the tease sent fans buzzing. And again, we've got some art here. I really wish I could make it bigger. When they release some proper high-res images, maybe I can. But the art does look really, really cool, guys. I mean, check the article out yourself if you want a closer look. I know this isn't doing it justice, but it looks very, very cool. A long-awaited return. 17 years later, I'm back, Rucka said. Batwoman #1 is going to blow your fucking minds. The announcements came amid a flurry of enthusiasm from next-level architects Scott Snyder and Joshua Williamson, who emphasised that this new line is built around creators' passion projects. We just said, what do you want to do? Williamson said of recruiting talent. Snyder added that inspirations like Marvel's Ultimate Universe and Energon Universe helped shape the idea. These are their passion projects. As Snyder put it simply, it's so epic. These books are going to be so good. I'm not bullshitting you. Well, there we have it. Well, the proof will be in the pudding, my friend. We will see. And I am excited. I'm excited by some of these books. And I'm going to try them all because you know what? I might fall in love with this, some of these books that I maybe wouldn't have picked normally before. So I am definitely excited. Now, also, there was a rumor that Rucka was going to write Zatanna, but apparently it was a joke, and he revealed that on his Twitter feed, or X rather, just in case anyone's going to mention that after this video goes out. So that was actually just not true at all. And we have the final one. And this is also connected to the DC's KO event. And it's called The Kids Are All Fight. Yep, you see what he did there. And what happened when Batman died. So this is basically going to tell the tale of the kids, I guess, after what we saw in issue 1, which was very, very much of a sort of sideswipe I didn't expect to see, but kind of explains why Batman has his own separate book in this whole huge event. So The Kids Are All Fight is a DCKO one-shot for January by Jeremy Adams and Travis Mercer about the superhero kids finding something to do while their parents are away fighting the good or bad fight. And announced at New York Comic Con in the DC panels. There we have it. We've got some art. Oh, it looks nice. Reminds me of Chris Samney. I'm not sure if it is. Who is it? Well, here we go. So I guess these are probably the variant covers, as always. So Junie Barr, Chrissy Zulo, Omnia, Joe Quinones, and Todd Newark. So they look pretty cool. As for DCKO and the list of superheroes and villains being pitched against each other in the Who Will Win tournament, the fights will be down to winning 2 out of 3 competitions. And when a character dies, they can respawn as any version of themselves from continuity. Well, that's interesting. It is getting nuttier and nuttier, isn't it, really? I can't wait. I don't know why, but I really do. So if they die, they can come back and they can pick which version of themselves from any of the sort of multiple universes and continuities. Very interesting. So I guess we could see Dark Knight Batman come back in, right? If Joker dies, we could see the Killing Joke Joker. Who knows? So, which is how Captain Atom comes back as Monarch, how the Robins are different Batmen in the spin-off Night Fight, and how Red Hood is back looking like Robin when fighting the Joker. Their rematch happens in the warehouse in which the Joker attacked Jason Todd, leading to his death. Joshua Williamson admitted that his editors said that this comic book was getting a bit too violent. We will see. So the Joker versus the Red Hood, #1. So I guess these are all Fight Month variants. Okay, so these are variants. Liva Mayho, which looks absolutely stunning. Torin Clark, Gillian March, and Dustin Nguyen. So that looks very, very cool as well. As for Batman's death in DCKO's #1, it was down to Omega Heart that is running the tournament, sensing that Batman was cheating. And allowed the Joker to kill him. See, there is a theory there. I didn't want to get into theories about this, but this is sort of hinting at some of those. So that Batman does not always win. And sending Batman to the statue graveyard alongside Blue Beetle, Captain Marvel, and Ambush Bug, but not for long. So when you die, you go to this, I guess, statue place, and I guess you're reborn, right? You can choose where you go next. Very interesting. Basically, it's a computer game, right? It's Scott Snyder creating the computer game you always wished he played. There are other plans for him, fighting against Batman versions of his 4 main Robins, which is that Nightfall book, which Night Fight book I'm looking very much forward to. We do have a DCK Night Fight preview here. The art looks tasty enough, so I'm very, very excited. This should explain a lot of what's going on. So it carries on from the second where Bruce has the Joker spear him through the chest, and he apparently dies. So it carries on straight afterwards. Now, these look like Dan Mora designs of Robins. Okay, if they become Batman. Dan Mora has been designing the look of Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, and Damian Wayne as if and when they step up and become the next Batman in their own dimensions. Well, that's interesting. And they have to fight Bruce Wayne Batman for the DC Universe as part of a side quest mission to the main DCKO series, which Bruce Wayne got dusted by Thanos. Okay, at least that's how it looked. That's what it says. So hold on a second. I thought this was the Joker who shot him in that book. Okay, we'll find out. So we got all these different Robins. I'm not sure who's who, but they look kind of cool costumes. They do kind of fall in line with a lot of what he's doing in the Batman book as well, right? They have that signature style. This one actually looks like the other Batman book that's rolling now. The name's completely thrown. It's the Batman in Space book, the complete sort of different storytelling where he's chasing down demons and things. Looks very, very cool. We've got one here with a samurai sword, looking moody, as he should. And we got 2 more here. So this looks like a Red Hood one. I like that. And this looks like a Nightwing. So I guess this is more Nightwing. This is more Red Hood. I guess this is the Space Batman. And this, I guess, is more kind of Dark Knighty-ish. Yeah, maybe. But very cool designs. Oh, we have the covers. So these are the Night Fight covers where Batman, as you heard earlier on, has to fight the Robins. Again, not great size covers. I've made so many videos this week. My throat is actually playing out and I'm losing my voice. But they look cool. I love the new Batsuit. This is sort of a mix of the current Batsuit and this modernized version. These covers are stunning. Look at this. Look at this. Yeah, I'm all for it. So this is the book that I'm really, really looking forward to the most so far. That's been announced out of this DCKO. I mean, I'm a big Batman fan like most of you are, so it's natural, right? Yeah, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. And there we have it. So that is the DC news. That's most of, I think, the stuff that came out from New York Comic Con. I'm sure there'll be some other stuff that I've missed. Or maybe might be some news today, you know. And if there is, hopefully I'll make some videos Monday to cover anything super interesting. I just pick the stuff that gets me excited, and I think we'll get other people excited. So there we have it. And let me know your thoughts on all this stuff, what you're excited about, what you're not excited about. Who do you think is going to be writing those new books? I mean, some of these you can kind of guess, I guess, if you take your time, but I'm sure there'll be some wild cards. Let me know in the comments, like the video if you can, hit subscribe, enjoy your Sunday, and if you get the chance, read some comics. See you soon. Bye-bye.